see what happens. We'll see what happens on Saturday. And now for something that will never happen. A Big Ten ACC football challenge. That's right. Now, earlier this week, the Big Ten ACC basketball challenge happened. And so I put on my thinking cap and thought, well, what would happen if we had one of these in football? Now, that would be awesome. So just for the purposes of debate, because we don't have a Hawkeye football game this weekend to talk about, let's talk about this. Now, keep in mind, all these games will be played at a neutral site. So let's just say they'll be played in the Unidome, just because that's a good neutral site. So Iowa will take on Clemson. We'll start with Iowa because they're the best team in college football, in my opinion. Iowa taking on Clemson. Jordan, do you got C.J. Spiller or do you got the Hawkeyes?
Well, I'm going to go like this and say that Iowa gives Clemson the proverbial backhand in this game. In this matchup, Iowa wins. Too strong up front for Clemson and too disciplined. Even though Clemson does have a great coaching staff, I know one of your favorites, Iowa wins this game. I mean, especially if we're playing it at the Unidome.
All right. Yeah, I think Iowa wins this game, especially with a healthy Ricky Stanzi. James Vandenberg, it's kind of up in the air a little more, I think. But I do think Iowa in the trenches is a little stronger than Clemson.
And two great defenses going at it. So this would be a game that I really would like to see. I'd like to see it in this hypothetical situation and not in the Champ Sports Bowl. But, I mean, this would be a great game. I think Iowa would win this game. Now on to the two best teams in both these conferences. You got Ohio State and Georgia Tech. And this is a matchup that really intrigues me because you got a great offense in Georgia Tech, a stout defense in Ohio State. Mike, who would you have in this one?
Well, if we're talking neutral side, I definitely think I'm going to go with Ohio State. In a close game, a lot of these games I think would be really close, and home or away could make a difference either way. But I think Ohio State, especially the way they're playing now, the way Terrell Pryor has settled in as a quarterback, I think Ohio State would win this game close, touchdown or less. Jordan.
I think Ohio State wins this as well. They would be very good shutting down that triple option attack. The only scary thing is if you look at what Navy did to Ohio State earlier this year, Navy had a pretty good time against Ohio State's defense. But I think Ohio State would be able to look at that tape and just figure out exactly, same offense, exactly what to do to stop
And
them.
Ohio State would just pound the ball on the ground against the weak Georgia Tech defense and then open up for a few passes by Pryor. They won't have to overutilize them through the air. It'd be all on the ground. And then, of course, we know about the great running backs Ohio State has. So chalk another one up for the Big Ten. Right now, we got the Big Ten up 2-0. And now Penn State takes on Virginia Tech. And this is a matchup that intrigues me because both teams have had successful seasons, but yet both teams have been a little disappointing because these teams were thinking championships, BCS at the beginning of the year, and I guess Penn State might still go to the BCS. But if they do, I think you'd find me in the Iowa River the next morning after they announce it. But Jordan, let's start with you. Penn State or Virginia Tech?
So true.
Oh,
we'd have to talk you off the edge. I know this would be a great matchup. I'd love to see it happen someday. Penn State, Virginia Tech. Be a fun one to watch. Great coaching, great defense, and good running games as well. I think Penn State, call me a homer, but wins this game. Virginia Tech didn't really show up in too many big games this year. Or that North Carolina game.
Yeah, which I was happy about.
They lost to North Carolina.
Yeah. I actually think Virginia Tech would win this game. Ryan Williams is third in the nation in rushing yards. He's a freshman. Tyrod Taylor, who I gave a lot of guff, I gave him a lot of crap this whole year. I think Virginia Tech, even though they've had some struggles this year, they've played some tough teams as well. I think Virginia Tech wins this game close. And this is kind of a coin flip, but I really think at this point, and you talk about not showing up in big games, Ohio State hasn't showed up in one big game this season.
Iowa? Penn State hasn't showed up in one big game either, but I know that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Ohio State showed up for the Iowa game.
No, I meant Penn State.
Penn State, okay.
Iowa.
You said Ohio State.
All right.
Did I misspeak?
Okay, sorry about that.
I
I hold the
apologize.
tiebreaker, and I'm going to say Virginia Tech. And for the interest of time, I'm not going to go too much into it because we got to get on here. Wisconsin facing Miami. And I'll just throw up my pick out there. I say Wisconsin wins because Ja'Cory Harris throws more interceptions than any other quarterback in college football. So to do that against this Wisconsin defense, I think Wisconsin wins. What do you guys think?
I'd take Miami. I think they're very athletic. They're very quick. I think Wisconsin would struggle playing against them. I think it'd be another really close game, but I take Miami.
Unfortunately, I'd take Miami as well. I think it'd be very similar to what we saw in the Champ Sports Bowl last year with Wisconsin losing, being outmatched by an athletic Florida State team.
Okay, Northwestern versus North Carolina. I'm going to go with North Carolina because unless they absolutely melt down and give the game to Northwestern, they won't win. So what do you guys think?
I agree. I think North Carolina's defense, top 10 in the country. Offense been inconsistent, but they can get it done. I think the Heels would win this one.
Okay, Jordan.
You guys don't like this, but I'm going with Northwestern just because I think that they've kind of done better than people thought they would this year, and North Carolina has done the opposite. So if you look at the directions,
I think North Carolina's had a good year, though. I mean, they've had a lot of quality wins, too.
this
Just like North,
loss to
I think they're
NC State
both
was
very
tough.
similar because they both have lost to some bad teams, but yet they've both beaten good teams. So I think it's pretty even. But I got North Carolina. Boston. Okay, we got to hurry up here. Boston College, Michigan State. What do you guys think?
BC, Michigan State can't win a big game.
Michigan State. I'm going.
I actually go Michigan State on this
too.
one. I think they get it done.
Florida State, Minnesota. We're going to take Florida State.
Florida
right?
State for sure.
Okay, so
yeah.
4-3 ACC leading. Purdue and Wake. Both these teams have lost several close games, but they've both had some good upset wins. So what do you guys think about this one?
Purdue.
I think Wake's defense is better. They'd get it done.
I'm going to go Purdue. 4-4.
Thank you, Alex.
Illinois, NC State, both high-octane offenses. Both teams don't play really good
Russell
defense.
Wilson's a better quarterback at NC State. Tony Baker's better running back than anybody Illinois has right now. I think NC State wins the game.
This kills me, Illinois.
I'm going to go NC State. I can't be a homer on that one. Michigan, Maryland. Both teams have one conference win. I'm going to go Michigan just based on talent alone.
Michigan.
Yeah, I'm going Michigan because Maryland lost to Middle Tennessee State 2 years in a row.
Okay, 5-5, and our last game,
Uh-oh.
Virginia, Indiana, and we have to go with
Virginia.
because these teams actually played. So can't believe we have the ACC winning this.
In a rematch, Indiana wins.
Well,
Virginia, hot, cold.
This is a 3-person group. If you guys had it, you might have probably had the Big Ten. I would have had the ACC
Yeah.
by one game.
Okay, you know what though? It's on a neutral site though.
Yeah.
Neutral site. And now since Virginia doesn't have Al Groh anymore, I'm gonna go Indiana. So
I think a rematch, Indiana
wins.
wins.
Oh,
6-5.
way.
6-5.
wins in a
Big Ten
rematch.
wins.
Switching your
Big Ten
picks.
wins.
Child's
Nope.
play.
Switching your picks.
Nope, I'm not switching my picks. Indiana lost
against
earlier in the
going
year, but
against the
Indiana proved throughout the season that they're the better team. So
America, you're
neutral
seeing them.
site.
Virginia
Neutral
wins,
site
Virginia
in the
47-7. You're seeing what's happening on air.
Yeah.
Integrity.
47-7.
ACC.
Integrity.
ACC.
Big Ten.
America's Children's
Big Ten
Conference.
wins 6-5, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
And
Live
if you had
from
any
Mike Rabon.
comments on what you've heard on this show or any other show, email us uioist@gmail.com. So for Mike Rabon, Jordan Loperena, I'm Alex Solsma. Good night, Go Hawks.
Who'd we lose?
We lost Illinois.
It's not that big of a travesty.